Because in modern society, there is no process left which teaches you how to go from being a boy to a fucking man. People only will teach you that you have to fucking either study, or that you are supposed to live like this, or you're supposed to praise women and fucking go like feminism, or all this other kind of shit. Namaste everyone, how's it going? Today we are going to talk about ritual initiations and initiation of a boy to turn him into a man. This is a concept that originally took birth from the teachings of Carl Jung, who was a great Swiss psychologist, psychotherapist, like all things psychology. And his students went on to actually write a book. There were two students called Robert Moore and Douglas Gillett. And they've written a book called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, which is a must read for any male on this planet. And these are certain observations that they made that noticed a change between the world today and the world our ancestors used to live in. Okay? And what they talk about is the initiation process which used to convert boys into men. So they would talk about that in tribal times, or in our ancestors' times, there was always some kind of a holy or sacred process or any kind of ritual that would put a boy through various circumstances and tests and challenges in order to kill the boy psychology inside of him and give birth to the man psychology inside of him, making the boy go through a process that kills off his boyish tendencies and makes him tap into his deeper masculine in order to survive or go through the ritual that he was being put through. So these would happen in various ways. It could be that a boy was just sent out, exiled on his own and was supposed to come back after a year, or let's say sent out to hunt a very dangerous animal on his own. Like you must have seen this in the movie 300, where as a boy he has to fight a wolf and he ends up killing it. These kind of experiences where you undergo some kind of challenge, trauma, experience, tough times which push you, and if you are not fit enough, you're going to break and you won't survive. And the ones who survived, they were the ones who became leaders of the tribe. They were the ones who became the men who would fight for the tribe, who would protect their community, who would become fathers to worthy children. And these kind of processes are absent from our modern world. Our modern world has actually evolved at a speed much faster than the speed at which human beings have evolved. And there is no process today that teaches how girls should turn into women and how men should be made out of boys. For women, it is still, a little bit of it is still done through nature and biology. Like when women start menstruating, it is quite an experience, and it makes them realize what they are here for on this planet, and it makes them turn into more of a feminine being. You would notice that there are a lot of times there are these tomboyish girls in school, but as they start hitting puberty, that they start changing. And there are also a lot of girls who actually were not tomboyish, but when puberty hits them and they start menstruating, that they become tomboyish. Those are the kind of girls who are not being able to handle the feminine nature which is being imposed upon them via biology. So chuck the women, we are not going to, so keeping the women aside, we are going to talk about the men, that how turning from a boy into a man is no longer being carried out in our modern world. So the most important thing I can tell you guys to do is to start letting go of boyish tendencies, to stop letting go of behaviors which a boy would engage in. It could be something as simple as bullying some people who are lesser off than you in your mind. It could be as simple as getting addicted to video games. It could be as simple as getting addicted to porn. It could be as simple as addictions that actually become more serious, such as to alcohol or to drugs or something like that. And you have to realize, in order to become a man, you have to kill that boy inside of you. You have to kill that identity of a boy. You have to, let's say when you're a child, you are always mothered by your mother. You are always cared for. You are always, given what you want. You are always taken care of, and your mother is always siding with you in the fights with the father and stuff like that, you need to be taken away from that mother, and you need to die on the inside in order to come out as a man. And to come out as a man, you have to go through a few certain circumstances in life that actually break down that boy psychology in you and kill it, and give birth to the man psychology inside of you, which give birth to the new man inside of you. So there are a lot of ways in which this is done. Like, it could be as simple as sending a boy out to an alien world, to a foreign land where he knows nothing and nobody, and has to fend for himself, has to survive on his own, has to find a mate to replicate with, all of those things, which will basically teach him the most important things in life via very, very basic lessons, which will kick the shit out of him, but will make a man out of him. Because he will have to go through different physical environments, he will have to go through different ordeals, and if he does not go through them, he will die, or he will, fail, and he will not be accepted back in his tribe because he's failed to show that he can be capable of being a man. So there were these procedures that used to exist, in our tribes, where you had to either go into exile or go to hunt, and these were the kind of procedures that would put a boy through all those things that will turn him into a man. And all these kind of processes are absent from our modern world, which is sad, because you will see a lot of grown-up boys walking around. I even notice a lot of grown-up girls, but we are not being men and women, mature, wholesome, functional, not dysfunctional men and women who are roaming around in society and making it a better, more productive place. It has led to the rise of all of these pseudo-men, 30, 40, 50 years old guys, 30, 40, 50-year-old men who do not deserve to be called men, because their psychology is still like that of a teenager. They do not know how to take responsibility. They do not know how to keep their woman attracted to them. They do not know what their purpose in life is. And they don't know any of these things because they were not put through a ritual, or they did not go through circumstances in order to kill the boy inside of them, that teenager, and be the man that society doesn't even just expect them to be, but rather society benefits from them being men. In a nutshell, what needs to happen is that the boy needs to be taken away from the mother, put through ordeals, and leave that image of the mother always being the provider for the boy. He should go and develop as a protector, provider, procreator, and come back to provide for women, not again to leech off. And that is what you will see men today. They are trying to leech off women because they are needy. They want approval. Their feeling of manliness is determined by whether they have a girlfriend or not, whether they are getting sex or not. And they will crave, they will supplicate themselves to women for that. They will lose all their power to women for that. And getting a girl, or that is like the biggest fucking thing. They have no mission. They have no purpose. They are not giving back to society in any way. They are not being a man who's helping others who cannot help themselves.